Welcome to the Don't Die Rusty podcast. I'm Rick Hanson, and we will be talking about living, not dying. We're all in this adventure together, and we will be interviewing people who inspire us to live our best lives. People with various backgrounds who will walk us down the trails they took to not die rusty. Adventure in life are many things to many people. It could be a sprint or an endurance race, but with each adventure, we become a better version of us. We hope you keep chasing those dreams, being the best you, and of course, don't die rusty. Well, hello, Don't Die Rusty Nation. I'm privileged to be here tonight with our Don't Die Rusty family member, Emily Hawgood. She had a heck of a trail running season. It was amazing watching you. And, after we did our first interview with you, or conversation, I should say, was so fun watching you in all your races. I have to say, because we're cheering from, and we were just talking a little earlier, but like my dad and would keep up with your races and I'd keep up with your races, and we're talking about how inspirational you are. So tonight's guest is, of course, Emily Hawgood, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great to be back to chat with you at the end of the year.
Well, yeah, it was like I said, it was interesting when we talked to you before because you're just getting into the new season, and it was so fun watching. It's interesting because, like I said, you're part of the Don't Die Rusty family now. So when you're a family member, it's just fun to keep up with you and to watch your adventures and to watch all of what you're doing. So, you got first in. I don't know is it Chianti or is it Chianti?
Chianti, you got it right the first time.
Yeah, all right. I thought I might as well throw it out there. If I say it wrong, I say it wrong. But yeah.
Perfect.
But you got first in Chianti. How was your season? I'm just gonna go. How was your season? How do you feel your season was?
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
It couldn't have gone better. It was great. I loved it. I was super stoked with how everything went, and as always, learned a lot and grew as an athlete a ton and a human and all good things.
Well, that's what it's about. Growing as an athlete and growing as a human, that is the most important thing, I think, and that we can ever do. Because I think about, I've put out a few episodes here where I think growing and learning from I can say learning from my youth. You're still youthful, so
You're still in your youth too.
But like I said, it was fun watching what you did, and you inspired the Western states. Of course, I wasn't there, but I saw it was so hot there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. It was cool. There was a super nice breeze, so it actually didn't feel as warm as.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what I think saved everybody, was this nice breeze we had from the beginning to the end.
All right, and then of course UTMB Mont Blanc. That was interesting to watch too from afar, of course, and cheer you on. And like I said, I feel lucky and privileged to be able to cheer you on. So I'm going to ask you, and I want to say congratulations too, but I want to ask you, what do you got coming up for next year?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for all the support. It really, truly means the world. I appreciate you and your dad and all the support. For next year, kind of putting plans together right now, but currently have Western States and UTMB back on the schedule. And then Canyons 100K I'm thinking about too, and then have some local home races around here as well. Slowly putting it together. Not in a rush, but slowly getting things.
What do you do? Like how? I when I looked at your schedule like last year, how long does it take you to recover from the race? Like after you're done with your like all those races, it seemed like it was like just about a 1 month or maybe a 2 month period where roughly do you heal up and just keep on racing, or does it? Because to me, it would take a lot out of me. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm old, and it would take a lot out of me. But to get ready for another race, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it varies from race to race, but so far, like I've kind of managed to have a season and then I take a purposeful break, even if I'm recovered up, just kind of take some downtime because there's warm weather all around the world. I could race every weekend if I wanted to. But yeah, I want to be running when I'm 80. So taking some planned downtime is good. And I really like it too. Just keeps the fire stoked for the next season and for the next race. And I don't feel like I get bored or anything. And also gives me time, yeah, to like go hunting or climb mountains or do other things and just a little more freedom to kind of move at a different pace in the mountains, which I really enjoy too. I love being out there in all forms. So that's been pretty special to kind of have some planned downtime and, yeah, keep the body feeling good, not needing to do, super high mileage or
Yeah.
intense workouts or kind of be free to go with the flow, which is kind of fun too.
Well, and that's awesome because we did our big hike in June, the
Yeah.
my 7 peaks, and you know what? It's the first time. I think we had about 10, 15 miles left, and then I've never ever felt bad. I mean, there's like this pit in my stomach that said you're going to throw up, and I couldn't throw up, and it was like one of those things. And we got to the end. Well, it wasn't end. We were 3 miles from the or more than that, about 4 miles from the finish, and I puked on top of the mountain. I don't know if you saw that. You might not have, but we're Ricky was doing a video. We did it because we said we wanted to be at the top at
Yeah.
six, and he turned around and I'm over the edge of the thing just throwing up, and I've always wondered how you guys do that in your races because you I mean, like I said, I'd never felt sick like that. And how do you push through that stuff? And sometimes you can't, sometimes you just performance wise, it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, this year actually I had my first experience throwing up in a race. So now I can kind of give you what I did anyways. I've never felt sick to the point where I want to throw up. Maybe like a little bit in my mouth or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yep.
I walked out of my aid station this time at UTMB, and Courtney DeWalter was there, and like all my team and everything. And I just suddenly was like, "Oh, I feel so bad. I'm gonna throw up for sure." And Courtney's like, "Okay, just throw up. Just throw up. You got
Yeah.
it." And
Hmm.
I just threw everything up, and then that was kind of rough because it took me a while to like refuel. And it
Hmm.
was far enough in the race that I think I didn't have like a bunch of stores left uh, to kind of draw on. So I was kind of drawing on an empty stomach, but eating furiously trying to refuel to get the energy to be able to like compete. Like I was close enough to the finish that for sure I could have struggled through it, but I really didn't want to. I wanted to run and
Yeah, yeah,
be strong. So that was kind of an interesting thing. And I definitely gained some wisdom that day on kind of what to do and how to continue on after you've thrown up. You don't feel great initially.
no, I'll tell you the truth. Like, it took me all day Sunday to like replenish, to
Mm-hmm.
feel and I didn't feel, I mean, I started feeling better, of course, but it's funny. I don't know about you, but all the way, like I'm coming off the mountain, and I told Ricky to get ahead of me, and we had our other friend, and I said, just go, because
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it. I'll get there, but just go. And all I could think of is I want a big old steak. I want a big old steak. You know, which I did get the next day, so that was good.
Perfect.
But 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 the interesting thing is you learn a lot about yourself, and I learned a
Mm-hmm.
lot about myself. I've found my inner Emily Hawgood and just kept on going down the mountain. So
Oh,
thank you
good.
so much.
Yeah.
So, because you do. inspire me to be better myself. So I thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
When you and Pat, I watch what Pat puts out, and he said train with a purpose, and I've learned to do a little more of that instead. Because when I first started training to do anything, it was always I wanted to be faster, like even a second faster the next day, and then it was like,
Mhm.
you know what, train with a purpose, and so I've done that, so it's good. So, but
Awesome.
what else? Well, everybody talks to you about racing
Yeah.
and
Sure.
and everything else. So I want to talk to you about what's else been going on in your life. I kind of know about some of the stuff, but your downtime is your downtime is in beautiful country, we'll just say, following you. Being up in the mountains
Mhm.
with those guys is amazing.
Yeah.
And so tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, I mean, this year was kind of extra special. Firstly, we had super nice weather, in October,
Mm,
so ended up getting up into the mountains a little earlier. Just because I was like, I gotta be up there. I don't want to be in the city. I want to be out in the mountains, and that was kind of
mm,
magical to get the opportunity to just spend kind of extra time up there and with good people. Yeah, I mean, it was a super special season, hunting season itself, like not only having tags for the first time, but getting a chance to get out with both Pat and Paul into the mountains and kind of watch them do their thing and learn from them in that way, not just as an athlete of theirs. That was the first time I think me and Pat have got to hang out as friends outside of college and
mm.
like really true
Yep.
time and see him cook and share stories in the mountains and hear about his new position at Boise State and really just spend time with him and getting to do that with Paul too. I always love it. So that was kind of a magical trip, and to have Pat get a deer there was pretty cool too. It's always a cherry on top with the deer.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean I love that whole process, and I've always admired Pat for how he kind of works with his animals and he loves cooking, he loves eating the animal too, and the process of it, and I've learned so much of that from Paul, and I love it too, and so it was cool to see the different things Pat did, even hanging his meat and things like that. That was all kind of a big learning curve for me, getting into a new country that I've never been in before. That was pretty special. Yeah, and then we had so many cool experiences. Like I think I would need to write about 10 books just from one hunting season. But it was pretty magical with like huge herds of elk and lone deer, and then the day I ended up getting my deer, we saw a whole mountain come alive. We had someone else we were hunting with get their deer
Yeah.
like an hour before, and then I got mine like closing day, last bit of light.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting. Kind of getting them back to the house and uh, cutting them up and eating heart and liver kind of for the first time from a deer. That was pretty cool. And just so everyone knows, the elk heart and deer hearts are like the best. So if you ever think you should pack them out if they aren't destroyed, definitely do. It's so good. Yeah, it was really special. And then, had my friend Cody get back from racing over in Bhutan. So had him and his dad back and went hunting with them and got to kind of get behind the scope and play my part on that end too,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, chase some elk around the mountains, have a few misses, have a few just incredible moments of watching the sun go down and kind of everything just being a little out of reach and watching the moon come up. It's kind of mind blowing, and just like I always get lost for words when people ask me to like explain how it is out there. And I always end up having to take a lot of time and really find like sitting down like this or sitting down, over tea or something is so much more meaningful than trying to explain it over a text message or anything
Yep.
like that. Because, I mean, even in itself, it wouldn't capture it all. But I really wish the world could truly understand what goes on out there, like seeing the family bonds that are formed over there, and dads and sons grow up and daughters grow up together. just being in the mountains, no cell phones, no anything that kind of distracts you. Really having to just be in the moment. The highlights and obviously like the walk of shame's back are all a part of it. And it's pretty incredible, like catching first light, so seeing sunrise after sunrise each morning, and then being out there until last light and hiking out in the dark, or getting back late, and kind of recapturing the day and just being amazed at what's out the back doorstep. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. The whole process is so special and so cool.
Well, I'm going to have to get you and Paul and Cody on sometime, all three of you, just to chat about this, because I've never talked to Paul,
Okay.
and I keep on going to send him a message and say, hey, do you want to be on the Don't Die Rusty podcast? I'm going to have to do that, but I've thought about a few things too. Actually, last week when I was up in Montana, I was elk and deer hunting for the last part of the season myself, and I didn't get anything. But I was by myself. I had a great season. I can't. We were talking earlier. Archery is my favorite season. It's hard to explain, like you said, but I love that, like that cotton candy mornings when the sun isn't up. It's all those colors that are coming in the clouds, especially if you have just a few clouds that
Yeah.
it's bouncing off the clouds, and then you go all day, and you maybe my best rests are in the mountains, because it's maybe take a nap in the middle of the day. I can, and which is funny, everybody has a purple or a Posturepedic mattress, and I can lay on the ground with my back on, just take a great old nap, and
Yep.
not
Yep.
feel it. But I don't know what it is. It's one of the most peaceful places you can go, and I agree with that. And you are also correct. I used to take my elk to a butcher, and me and him and I would talk, and we would go over lots of things. And he got sick, and he doesn't do it anymore, so I do it all myself now. But it's interesting how many people do like process their deer differently,
Hmm.
and it's and also the interesting part is that good meat that we eat, and Cindy just enjoys it now too. Like I think we talked earlier, maybe not, that she really didn't eat a lot of wild meat until I came into her life, because that's all I ever ate. But it's for myself, because
Yeah.
it's it's just one of those things. But where I'm going with this is it's just interesting to me, like the different processes. Everybody has their different thoughts on it. When I process stuff, I'm eating this stuff. So when I quarter it and we have to pack it out, everybody says the work starts. Of course it does when you shoot the animal, but there is a feeling about that when you have the meat on your back and you're taking it out of the mountains.
Yeah.
I have to disagree with you on the liver part. I'll agree with you maybe on the heart
On the
part.
heart. Okay. That's all that
But
counts, so it's okay.
because I'm not a liver person, and it doesn't matter. I'm just kidding you, but I mean, I'm just not a liver person. But
That's
the
okay.
heart part I can.
Yeah, the
So
heart's the important one.
yeah. So what do you see in the differences? Like, I mean, I know you grew up on a farm in Zimbabwe, but did you think about did you hunt at all in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, so my brother hunts now still, and me,
Mm-hmm.
my dad, and my brother would, shoot birds, like pheasant and stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
farm, and problem animals on the
Yep.
farm, digging things up or eating things, whatever. But my brother goes and hunts, and he's hunted all of the like smaller game in Africa, kudu and
Yeah.
impala and um, wild pig and stuff like that. I think he would like to have the opportunity. I think he's had an elephant hunt before, but never got anything. But it's so different over there. Like you have to have a professional hunter with you. I haven't like invested a lot of time into it, I think, either. And you have a lot more animals that can kill you or want to kill you out there. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not as safe just wandering and, spending time out there. And I really kind of only got to like explore and really get to know the outdoors once I got up here and got to Idaho, and just there just seems to be so much more space, um, where the animals are in Idaho and everything. In Africa, like where they're going to be pretty much. There's like areas, not that they're like on private land or things like that. Yes, sometimes they are,
Yeah.
but the areas where they are within the country is a little more kind of marked off, where they're going to
Yep.
kind of be a little more, things like that. So yeah, for me, it's just like how big everything is out here. I just got to the point when I was younger that I just was like, I don't want to shoot anything. I wasn't really like enjoying being out, but also I was only just doing stuff on the farm. It wasn't a
Yep.
huge adventure,
Yep.
like going out for days in the mountains and sleeping out there and being out from light till last light. And that's what I've loved so much. I mean, I've been going out with Paul and Cody for the last 7 years, 8 years, and I only shot something this year, so it's been a
Yep.
long time of just sitting behind the binos and packing and cutting up meat and or not seeing them get things. Like I think I
Yep.
saw before the season, I'd only seen them get 3 animals out of the whole 7 years. Like it's a huge accomplishment to actually get something out there, like we were saying earlier too. Like it's not a guarantee, and especially when you're hunting out, in public land. Like it's so big, it's so vast. There's so much vert, so many hills
Yeah.
to climb, and
Yep.
I mean, it's a mission to get close to them. Get close to an animal. Like animals are so smart, and they can smell you or hear you. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's pretty incredible.
I love you doing what you do and experiencing the wild like you do, because it is a big, wonderful place. And there is something about relationships that grow in the wild, even if you don't get anything. My elk season this year, like we're talking here, is I didn't get things, but we had close calls. Like I was telling you earlier with some elk, but it's the people that came out to help me because they want to come and help me.
Yeah.
And you have those little things that happen, or you see, like one night we had the most beautiful sunset you could ever imagine, and we tried to take pictures, but a lot of that's going to be in our minds more for the view, because you can take the picture, but it doesn't do the justice of what you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing we saw was a white doe, albino doe.
Wow.
And, we're
Amazing.
watching it from a distance. And that was, how many people get to I've never seen one in my whole life. Out in the wild, I've seen a piebald, which is blotchy, but
Yeah.
never seen a full albino mule deer at that.
Wow.
So that was fun to see.
Amazing.
And you don't get to, not everybody gets to see that stuff. You don't get to see the little things, and I look at the big things, and it's just so peaceful and such a fun place to be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So,
Yeah. So
well, I'm
3 months
glad.
of that. It was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and my buddy Sam got a deer too, his first buck. I wasn't there the day he got it, but I'd been out with him a few days before, and so he called me on the inReach. I drove a couple hours to go help him pack it out. That was really cool. Yeah, it was awesome. The magic time shared was really special.
Well, awesome. That is very cool. So, and then, what do you guys do? You guys cook up there, or do you have dehydrated meals, or what do you guys have up there when you're eating?
Yeah, so if we put a camp in, we can cook. We
Ah,
have dehydrated meals just in case, or if we're like out and can't get back to camp or something. But at camp, we can just cook.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I just boil the water, have a dehydrated meal, and
Mhm.
throw away the packet, and you know what I mean. It's one of those deals where I don't have to clean anything up then.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna jump out of this for a second because what do you eat during your races? Because here's what when I've just got it's funny how I jump back and forth here, but I was thinking about the throwing up part. I was thinking about for me, and I know this is kind of probably disgusting to some people to talk about, but I think I got tired of drinking to keep me going. It wasn't a but I think I got just tired of the taste of
Yeah.
something, and you
Mhm.
don't feel like drinking it anymore, and
Mhm.
then you stop drinking like you should.
Yep.
And I just think so what do you do to eat? Here's the deal. You go to Europe, but you're used to European food, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's here's what because everybody in the mountains in
Mhm.
hunting blames dehydrated meals on their bodily functions.
Okay, okay.
You understand what I'm saying? But
Yep.
I also believe it's also you're not used to eating what you're eating all the
Yep.
time, and then
Mhm.
in a hunting situation, being in the woods, or it doesn't matter hunting or whatever, but being in the woods, your your body isn't used to getting up at before light, and then you're pushing your body all
Mhm.
day long, and then you change how you normally live. So I'm saying that. So, but to me, it's like I don't want to ever get tired, and I did, like I said there. What would you suggest? Like I said, going to Europe, they have different food than we have here in America, more or
Mhm.
less. And
Mhm.
going wherever you travel, going back to Zimbabwe would have different food than we have here. How do you adjust to that such things being a racer?
Yeah. I mean, racing, so the food during the race, I've practiced it pretty much on every like long run or every longer run that I do. I'm practicing what I'm going to eat out there, and I'll take my nutrition with me. So it doesn't matter where I go in the world, like I'll pack up my bag and
Yeah.
take all the food I need. But obviously the eating before the race, like the meals and stuff like that, generally you're just eating what's there. But I'm gluten intolerant, and so I do have to think about that a lot, especially when I'm in Europe. And some places are getting way better, but there's some places that just aren't good. So I've started taking either dehydrated meals for those, at least just to get me going, even just a couple days of like not having to find a grocery store the first night you're there or
Hmm.
something. Take some
Hmm.
dehydrated meals, or just take some, bags of 90-second rice, because that in itself, add some cheese or something, and it's a full meal, which is really good. And our biggest thing is just trying not to miss out on calories, or meals, and trying to time adjust too. So your system's kind of all out of whack when you
Yeah.
first arrive in Europe. So it's definitely just having a lot of grace for yourself and finding things that work, finding things that taste normal. And usually, yeah, I mean, it'll be just trying to keep things simple. Finding a steak in France and making some potatoes and vegetables. Like most places are gonna have potatoes and vegetables and
Yeah.
a piece of chicken or a piece of steak. So even if it got boring, I think finding something that you feel comfortable eating is more key than trying to mix things up or keep it interesting. Like it's okay to just eat the same thing or eat something that works.
You know, I'm more of a bland food eater when I'm out and about. I'm not a hot person whatsoever. I do not like hot. I might have a few spices like an onion and a garlic, but I'm not
Mhm.
a big spice. My big deal is, and it's funny because I get made fun of a lot because when I take a dehydrated meal, it's normally macaroni and cheese, and I put bacon in it because
All
and
right.
and people can make fun of Mountain House, but that's my favorite macaroni and cheese. That's even better
Love
than the old Kraft
it.
macaroni and cheese. But
Nice.
but but because I look at, and I'm not putting myself in your position as an athlete. I'm just saying hunters are athletes in some ways
Mm-hmm.
because we travel and then we're putting on a lot of miles, and some people aren't probably prepared to put on some of those miles,
Mm-hmm.
but we put on those miles and the food and the traveling. Like, do you do you give yourself grace when you land in Europe, the plane lands, you get to your wherever you're staying? How long does it take you to go out for a jog or a run? Because you
Yeah.
have to be still. I mean, I'm driving in a
Yeah.
vehicle most of the places, but I, I'm stiff when I get out. It's like I want to go do something, but do you worry about injury of being stiff from sitting in a jet for however many hours, and then you get out, you walk to your car to get to wherever you're going? Do you worry about injury?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is to, like, with Pat specifically, like, I work through, we have a activation routine that we do that has helped a ton and really just, like, lets me kind of tune in. So that's probably the thing I'll do when I land and get to the place I'm staying, is I'll do that little 10-minute routine and make sure everything's okay before I venture out, or even then just decide if I do want to run that day or if it's better to just kind of relax and let the body kind of adjust, do some yoga or something, or even just chill, just get some food and get some sleep,
Mm-hmm.
because those are probably the two key things for the body. So yeah, definitely a lot of grace when I travel, and not trying to push something that the body feels uncomfortable doing.
Because I think for me, whenever I've taken long flights, like when I used to fly to Australia in usually from Christmas through January, and it's one of those things that, of course, in America where I'm coming back to could be below zero when I was at 100 or so degrees, but I always lost my voice because I think I got dehydrated
Mm,
because I'm never drinking enough on the plane like I
yeah.
should.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, like, you have to get rehydrated so your muscles don't fail you, plus energized because of food.
Mm-hmm.
And I try. Me getting older makes me understand more of you can't drink a Red Bull and eat sunflower seeds and get out to expect to perform like you were when I was 20. Maybe I could have done that, but now I have to
Mm-hmm.
think more about what I'm doing so I can keep on doing it longer. So I mentally and physically. This is why it's great talking to a world class athlete, which I get so lucky. I feel so lucky. But to be able to ask these questions of what you do.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and I mean everyone does it differently, but like even for me, like when I get on the plane, I generally change my watch immediately to wherever I'm going to that time. And so I'm hoping that I can just kind of adjust, like, okay, now I'm on European time, like on French time. And so as soon as the travel starts, I'm kind of on that time and try and just minimize like the time you switch back to like check what time it is when you're at home or that sort of stuff. Not like getting there, being exhausted and being like, oh my gosh, no wonder I'm exhausted. It's 2 o'clock in the morning
mm-hmm.
back home. Trying not to think about that and just giving yourself, the time and the grace to adjust and your body to get used to it. Because it does, it will get
Yeah.
used to it. And it's just about giving yourself enough time and taking a nap in the middle of the day if you need to, or
Well,
pulling
yeah.
pulling asleep a little early, or keeping yourself up so you don't sleep, really early and then be up at 2 a.m. Yeah, all those little things. And hunting's just the same. I mean, you're excited, so a lot of your energy gets you out of bed in the morning and kind of gets you adjusted a lot quicker. But yeah, taking that time in the middle of the day, making a fire and taking a nap, those are all good things. The animals aren't out anyway.
No.
You may as
No.
well take a nap.
Exactly.
Yep. Let your body adjust, get some good food, stay warm. Yeah, all those things. As athletes, all four of us, just being out there, that's the best way to keep safe and be able to do what we love.
Yeah, and in this time of the year, like getting into November, when especially being alone for us is, I mean, I was alone I have no service on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I have a book, and it's dark out. So you eat.
Mm-hmm.
You might read the part of the book in your tent,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to sleep. And it's funny because people say, you should be so tired, and maybe physically I might be a little bit tired, but I get a lot of rest because
Mm-hmm.
it's dark.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do. So you might as well just get in your sleeping bag
I
and
love it.
rest. Then I sleep all, unless you have to go to the bathroom at night. You sleep all. I get probably 8, 9 hours, for sure, 9 hours
Mm-hmm.
probably of sleep a night because of that. Because it's dark, and it's
Yeah.
it's nice because I probably come back well rested in that fact. Plus, it's also good mentally. It's
Mm-hmm.
just good. You say being in the glass while hunting. That's my favorite place to be, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm usually in the spotting scope. I'm usually given directions, where to go or if the animal has left or whatever. But that is the funnest part to me because it's like a live action video game because you get to watch the action
Mm-hmm.
and say, "What the heck are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
It, but it is so fun because to me, it's like it's an important job to be in that glass,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also fun to watch everything happen. And I've been in the glass for 6 hours watching a stock in I've never got bored. It's
Yep.
like
Never.
I'm sitting here because you never know when the action might happen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fun to me, and plus I'm not saying I'm in the glass continually in the fact that I do look up because your neck gets sore or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
you get to see all this stuff all day long. There's so many things that go in my head, like I'm the luckiest person because I'm sitting in the wild here. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
bothering me.
Yeah.
Humans scare me, animals don't. So it's like it is so peaceful. And I
Yeah.
think we learn from all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
of there's nobody to worry about in the aspect of there's no time constraints. There's nothing going on except what's going on in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that is awesome. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you react to that stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. No, the same for sure. And yeah, I love it. It's so great. I could sit there for days.
Well, good. So what else are you up to then?
Yeah, I mean, right now I got back to um, the house in Cali, and I've got the pool under wraps and getting the yard fixed, and it's definitely fall out here, so lots and lots of leaves to blow and rake and get fixed up. We've had some rain. Everything's looking good. The grass grows like weeds for sure. So it's been awesome to be back and have some sunshine, and it's kind of nice setting out the next season, like I said, and finishing up things from this season and hopping on some podcasts, seeing friends, getting excited to go home. I'm going home for Christmas and we'll be home for 3 weeks, which will be really fun. And we're going fishing. So my dad's super excited, already has all the fishing gear out, all the food bought and organized. Yeah, we're going to be on our houseboat. We have shares in a houseboat on Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe. We'll be out there for 7 days. So it'll be really fun. Hopefully all of us, like the whole family and some friends from South Africa. And yes, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It'll be nice. I haven't been home for Christmas, like Christmas Day in a few years. So it'll be really good to be back home and everyone's excited. It's full summer there. So it's warm. We'll have the day by the pool, which will be amazing. It'll be so nice to spend some time with the fam and run some miles on the dirt roads at home around the farm. And yeah, all good things.
Because that was going to be one of the things I was going to ask you. Because I just did a little episode. I was trying to tell people, it's not about Christmas presents. It's about the presents you bring to Christmas. And
Mm-hmm.
I was going back because it's interesting the family traditions that happen at home, and when you start growing, how the, when you're a little kid, things are bigger and
Yeah.
all things. But it's amazing when you can go back and experience that stuff with your family and really take them take the whole experience back in.
Yeah.
As a kid, sometimes we don't understand that stuff. But I said
Mhm.
I only probably remember a few Christmas presents as a young person but I remember the adventures you had during Christmas, and you
Mhm.
guys being. I mean, I know that you're in the middle of summer, but you'll be on. You're going on a houseboat trip, but I remember toboggan rides and snow and
Yeah.
blizzards and all kinds of fun things that. But you make me happy in the aspect that like going on the houseboat. That's a family time. That's being
Mhm.
together and those little adventures that or those little things that might happen that you'll always have in your memory banks.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Yeah, what
know,
what traditions do you have at Christmas time?
I'm going to Alaska for Christmas, I think, this
Mhm.
Christmas, and to see Cindy's son. And this is the first Christmas that Cindy and I will ever be together.
Wow.
I think I can't remember. If she listens to this, she'll kick my butt. But I think out of 14 years. And But here's the deal, my mom wasn't in good shape, and I'd go there, and we understood that people wanted to see you at your families, and they didn't need to see me, and I would go back to see my mom and dad. And here's the deal, where I'm getting to this point, it takes me a long time to get there, but we used to watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
And Jimmy Stewart was awesome, and it was a good message. We'd wake up on Christmas morning, and I was still that kid that it didn't. I'm still that kid at 56 that says Santa Claus still comes to me. So
Yep.
I'm hoping, in being in Alaska, I'm closer to the North Pole.
He'll get there quicker.
But that's one. But what do you guys? What is what do you do in Zimbabwe for Christmas?
Yeah, my mom always makes a nice Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve. And yeah, then we put our stockings out and cookies and milk for Father Christmas, and then go to
Yeah.
bed. And then I'm always the first one awake, and I'm impatiently waiting for my brother to wake up so we can open stockings.
Yep.
And yep, so we usually go to my mom and dad's room and open stockings on their bed, which is always fun.
Yeah.
And then get up, everyone gets up, and we have breakfast together, and then open presents, and then we spend the day by the pool and eat all the leftovers from the night before. It's always a warm day, and my dad will definitely take a Christmas Day nap in the middle of the day.
Mm.
We'll go for an evening walk, I'm sure. Yeah, I can't wait. It's simple and I love it.
And that's what I love the most is the simpleness of Christmas. Is the simpleness of Christmas and of being together, because I just I just enjoyed you when you get older, you really start understanding the time spent with your mom and dad. I saw a deal. I think it was yesterday. It was some video that I saw, but it said, "How many times a year do you get to see your parents?" Because the guy was a long ways, and
Mhm.
he said maybe once or twice a year.
Mhm.
And they said, "So how old are your parents?" And they said 75, something like that. And he said, "So how long do you expect them to live?" "Probably 80." "So you'll only see." The guy said, "So you'll only see your parents for 10 times in the next 5 years."
Mm.
And it changed people's lives, because
Mhm.
in the aspect that when you go back and just say 10 times instead of looking forward that you have 5 years. So so taking these times to be with your family is the most amazing and precious thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
know,
really lucky because they take the time to come be with me too. So come out to some of my races or just come to visit, and that's really special. And yeah, I think COVID was our big wake up call to that was not being able to see each other for a while. So we definitely, take every opportunity we can now.
And that's the bad part about. I feel bad for you because I was lucky enough to live in America where we had a little more freedom in some
Mhm.
aspects, and my mom and dad weren't so scared of it that I got to go see them,
Mhm.
and that was a good deal, And but I feel I'm so happy you get to go back and spend time with them on Christmas, but um, because maybe I'll get to meet him someday because
Yeah.
I'm really, last year was so quick, but now I can plan.
Yeah.
So, I may not, I don't know if you heard, I can't remember what episode it was. I think might have been, but I said, we were talking about going to watch your race, and I said my problem would be, I want to be out of I want to cheer you on, but I want to stay far enough away from you because with my luck, I'd trip on something, you'd stumble over me and hurt your ankle or something, but I want to come and cheer you on at a race, and I want to see
Yeah.
because in what you do really interests me, and I've really started. I mean, before we even met, I was following long distance running, and like you do, and it just. I'd like to go see it. And now that I know somebody, and you can, like I
Yeah.
said, you feel like I feel something there in the like you're part of it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you
Yeah.
know what I mean, but so I'm planning you any American race for sure that you're in, and where's Canyons at?
It's
I
out here
can't.
too.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd really love you to get a Colorado race in, but
Okay, okay. Well, maybe so at the Hard Rock lotteries this weekend. So if I have luck there, I'll let you know. Then you can come there.
well, I will for sure come there. But if
Okay.
I don't, I would probably come to Western. I'm really seriously thinking about coming out to Western states this
Hmm.
year because, like I said, everything was happening fast last year
Yeah.
after we talked. But now I'll be I'll be cheering you on loud if because I'm really hoping to get out there and
Oh,
get
that'll be
up there
awesome.
and go.
That'll be cool. You'll love it. Yeah, you'll
It's-
love it, and everyone will love having you here and teaching you about the sport of trail running. So definitely get out here.
yes. So, but anyway, so what do you do for New Year's then when you're in Zimbabwe?
I don't know if of all my time there, if I ever actually saw New Year's come in. Because we live on the farm, so it's like 8 p.m. bedtime and 4 a.m. wake up time to go to the dairy. So midnight was always a long time to stay up, but usually just hang out on the farm and we'll have friends over. And yeah, I'm sure we have other farming families nearby that'll come by and we'll do a braai or something and hang out, which will be really fun.
Because I probably won't see New Year's come in either.
Yeah.
I'll be in bed.
Me too. That's loud. That's loud.
so so do you have any new sponsors coming on or anything cool that's happening to you or anything else?
No, I mean, I get to stay with my team for another 3 years, so I'm really excited
Oh,
about
that is
that.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, get new teammates this year, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. And no, I don't have any other new sponsors or anything, but I don't mind that. I feel very blessed with the team I've got, and yeah, super excited to for the next season.
Well, maybe I can win lottery and I'll be one of your sponsors.
Perfect.
Don't die, Rusty.
Yeah,
Will be out there cheering you
yeah,
on.
I
And
got your sticker on my water bottle, so you're pretty much my sponsor.
okay. But no, it's you are like I said, you are an inspiration, and we talked earlier, and we've been talking about family throughout this whole thing, and Paul and Pat and your mom and dad and brothers. And actually, I hope Don't Die Rusty, me, Ricky. We feel like we're part of your family too. But
Mhm.
we were talking earlier about my dad, and he's 81, and you inspire him to be better and to keep moving. And I'm not kidding you. I cannot stop and take a picture. Like, we go out in the morning, like in the summer it's different, but right now, if I stop and take a picture of a sunrise or something cool, I got to run to catch up with the son of a gun. And he's 81. You're keeping him going and moving, and he's
Yeah,
like,
he's rocking it.
and
Well,
so I want to thank you because you taking the time out to say something to him every once in a while, that makes all the difference in the world, and you are making a big difference in this world.
oh, well, thank you. And yeah, like I said, I appreciate your and your dad's support always. So yeah, thank you so much. It makes a difference in my world too and keeps me inspired. And it's always fun to get out in the morning. And I know you guys are going to be up early and out at sunrise and posting, giving us some
Yep.
inspiration for the day. It's always the best part. So don't stop.
Well, I won't do that. I won't stop doing that. So that's good. So, but I do. I thank you, and I'm truly like, I'm coming to one of your races this year. So be prepared.
Yeah, I can't wait.
and,
Yes.
and when you put this out in the world, you have to do it. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying I got to
you
do
have
it.
to. Yeah, that'll be the best. Definitely come. That'll be really fun. You'll love it.
I'm going to get this set up so I can go, because actually it's funny. I'm telling people things that I wasn't going to say, but like, I'm not going to the Western Hunting Expo. I'm decided this year. I've never missed it.
Oh, wow.
But I thought, you know what? I'm going to go do some different things in my life. And the Western States is a different thing in my life. So I'm truly, like I said, I want to know your race. We can stay in contact after this, what your race schedule is going to be, but you
Okay.
better plan on me being at one.
Okay, deal.
All right.
Planned.
I'll let you get going here, but so, I mean, I asked you what's the good life the last time, so has anything changed? What's the good life to Emily?
I think it's kind of the same, like just being really blessed with every moment of every day and the people I get to love on and learn from, and each day feel like we're growing. Always be challenged and appreciate everything we have, and get to love people and be loved by people and love our beautiful world and spend time in it and really take the time to be quiet and just be grateful for everything. And yeah, I mean, we have one life. Definitely go live it.
I loved hearing that, and you know that one there.
Yeah.
So, well, I want to congratulate you on your races last year. I want to congratulate you on your first animals that you get to put in your belly there, and eat and enjoy, and teach people that it's not just about killing, it's about the whole aspect of things, because it's about being a hunter, and it's about being one with the woods. I'm saying so. But I just want to thank you so much for all you do for me and my dad and everybody else lives you touch. So thank you for so much.
Thank you. And thank you to the whole Don't Die Rusty family.
Well, Don't Die Rusty Nation, I'm going to say keep chasing your dreams, living your best life, being the best you, and of course, don't die rusty.
Thank you for listening to the Don't Die Rusty podcast with your hosts, Rick Hanson and Ricky Bruley. The Don't Die Rusty podcast is written and produced by Rick Hanson and Ricky Bruley. You can find us on Instagram and on Facebook at Don't Die Rusty. You can rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You might find your review read on a future episode. Got a question for the Ricks? Send us an email at don'tdierusty@gmail.com. It too could be featured on a future episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Don't Die Rusty podcast wherever fine podcasts are downloaded.